It's time to learn, repair, and maintain everything coffee. Instructional videos brought to you by WholeLatteLove.com.
Hi, I'm Todd with Whole Latte Love. We have Mark behind the camera.
And Todd, you got a big smile on your face because we've got something pretty darn cool here, right?
Yeah, we have an ECM machine that's been cut open so you can see inside of it. You can see inside the boilers, see inside some of the valves, the solenoid valves, and that way we can show you how the whole,
right?
Yeah, the E61. We can show you how the whole thing works. I mean, really dig in.
Yeah.
So we're going to follow the path of the water flow as it go through each valve and each fitting and end up in the E61. Then we'll give a really good description how the E61 works. Okay. So there may be a few mysteries you've seen about these machines, and now we're going to solve them.
Cool.
It's a good opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So we're going to follow water flow through the machine.
Yep. So the water comes either in through the water line connection or through where the reservoir connects. You have a valve here that controls which one you're drawing from. Water flows through this stainless steel tube here, braided tube, into the pump, out of the pump, and through this braided stainless steel line. Now, here's your brew pressure control here. That just controls how much water is going to bypass, therefore how, keep circulating within the pump instead of sending it out to the machine. That's how you control your brew pressure.
Okay.
They don't have a cutaway of that, but we don't need that. Okay, so the braided stainless steel line, which actually is a great feature to have this. There's no Teflon tube in here. This is very durable, very good quality. So water comes through here to this T. This goes up to your brew pressure gauge, and this then over to this T, and water picks one of two paths. One goes towards the brewing system, one towards filling the boiler with water for the boiler fill. So we'll go this way first.
Okay.
Goes through your solenoid valve. In the cutaway here, you can see there's the coil, that's copper. So this basically is a magnet that has a plunger in there. It controls.
Oh, you've got more toys over there.
Actually, we'll pull this out. We'll show you how that works.
Sure.
Okay, you'll see there's an arrow on there that shows where the water flow is. And we'll open this up. Then we'll open this up and show you how that works. So the water comes in this side and goes up. See that opening there?
Yep.
Then when the valve opens, this port is open. The water comes down through here and out the other side. They do it this way. If the water came in through this side, the pressure from the water might actually push the valve open. That's why it's important to have it go the right direction. So inside of here, here's your valve seat right there. And so here's your plungers. It has a little spring on top. Magnet gets energized, pulls this up. Here's a magnet. I kind of want to show you how this thing works.
Sure.
Real quick. Trying to keep moving here. We'll get some power to it. More power. So when I plug this in, it'll become magnetized. Okay, see?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
When you unplug it, drops out.
That goes away. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the magic behind that. So up through the solenoid valve, through a check valve. Okay, we'll spend a couple seconds on this. It's actually a really nice valve.
And the check valve.
Well, the purpose of that is to keep water from the boiler pushing back down to the solenoid valve, going the opposite way where we can actually open that solenoid valve. Remember how I showed you that?
Yep.
How pressure could open that? This will keep that from happening.
Okay.
So inside here, you've got your spring. Then I'll dump this out. And then you've got a little metal washer. And you have a ball. And inside there, you have a valve seat that goes up. So that drops there. Water goes this way, you can't get by it.
Okay.
Another little valve seat there, so when that screws into or drops into here, it seals real nice. And there's a little spacer in there. Okay, so once we get through this check valve, we just go directly into the boiler. It fills that up. I'll kind of stick with that for a minute. The boiler level is controlled through this probe here. There's normally a wire that goes to that.
See deep inside the little stick sticking down there.
Yep.
Yep.
So the water level is approximately there.
Okay.
When this senses that there's no water in it, it sends like a little charge through the water to the case, then it knows there's water. When the water level goes down and it can't do that, the board senses it, turns the pump on, goes through the solenoid valve, and fills the boiler.
Okay.
So let's follow the other path. Okay, we're back to the T here. Again, through another check valve, They always like check valves, so it doesn't send any water back.
Okay.
Goes out the other side, underneath the pump. Comes over to here. Now this goes up towards your heat exchanger in the machine, which is right in there.
So that's the element to heat it, and then back behind
Well,
there.
we're behind there is the heating element.
Yeah.
But this is really cool how this works. Okay, so the key with the E61 group, like we have here, is that water circulates through this group all the time to keep it hot.
Right.
It comes, and when you look over here, you'll see two tubes, one there and one here. The hot water goes in there, it comes down, as it cools, back to this other tube, which brings it right down over to here, back to this valve. And you can see, so the water comes from the pump, comes up through here, through this copper tube, but there's an opening around that there, so the water can circulate. The cold water coming back goes through here, goes back up around this copper tube into the heat exchanger.
Which, and that's cut away, so it's,
Yep.
Yeah.
Through there, then up to the group, and then back down again. That's how you get the thermal siphon system working on this.
so water's just constantly circulating no matter, as long as the machine's on and warmed up.
And hot. You got it. So when you're brewing, the water comes through this tube here, through this tube, comes out here into the heat exchanger, pressurizes this, which forces water up through this tube here and out to the brew group, which we'll go over in a minute how that works. They go to the center of this, that way you mix the water.
Okay.
You always keep it mixed.
So the water that's coming through the thermal siphon kind of comes around the edges of that
Yeah.
tube and not through it.
Right through there.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Water up and just keeps circulating. While we're at the boiler level, we'll get back to
Yeah.
E61 in a minute. So if you're steaming, this tube here, that takes the water or the steam
Right.
over through your steam valve here. And if you're doing hot water, let's see if you can see where it hooks on. Hooks onto the bottom here, obviously below the water level.
Right.
Open that, and all the pressure
Pushes
pushes it
water.
up through the tube, out through here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at these valves for a minute, as long as we're looking at the valve. So these are pretty cool valves.
So they're lever style.
Yep, lever style. So you notice when you push on it here, it opens up there. So this hot water steam comes through here. You can't get anywhere because this valve seat right there is stuck up against here, the
Right.
brass here.
But
When you
it's-
open this, it allows the pressure to come through and out and down, whether it's steam or hot water.
Right. So they.
So it's nice. The only pressure holding this on here is just the spring. So it's not like taking screwing down a valve where you
Right.
screw it constantly and you can overpressurize it and damage it.
Damage the valve. So that with the spring, it's more reliable, longer lasting sort of setup.
That is correct. Let's see. Kind of want to show you how the steam wands stay in. You notice how they stay up. And you're just like, well, how does it do that? Here's what you got. You'll have a gasket there, and then you have this brass piece here it's milled to fit right onto the ball here, and the spring goes up. But so that's the pressure on this spring when you tighten the nut down that holds this up.
Keeps that in position.
Yeah, so if you ever notice your wand is drooping a little bit,